everybody for tuning in to the nation. Let's get this thing going one way or another. Really appreciate everybody. We live like 95. We got a special guest today, or tonight, as we can look at it this thing this way. Yeah, we're gonna cross post this thing over to AKOYE media page, because that's who we have in this thing too. My brother from another mother. Everybody know that when you see this guy going down and talking about players, right? Everybody think that he just like this guy to sit behind the film sessions and say, hey, Dak Prescott sucks and this sort of thing, right? Right. But it's not that, man. Sometimes people call what they see, and at a lot of times it is what it is. So with that being said, man, AKOYE, tell them who you are, man. Tell them where they can find you at and everything of that nature.
I appreciate it, Law. I appreciate the disclaimer for me too. I be needing that sometimes, man. But yeah, you can find me on AKOYE media on YouTube. That's AKOYE media on YouTube. If you want to say something to me, I had to add this now. If you want to speak to me directly, you can email me at AKOYE2001@gmail, because a lot of people, you know, try to, I guess, send invites or talk in the chat box, and that's not the place for it. So I'll just go ahead and tell you that's the email you guys can use if you want to reach me for anything like a post or any suggestions. Or you can go to my Patreon, not to give you guys too much, but patreon.com/AKOYE. You can go there as well. But primarily, you know, you can catch me Facebook, email, Twitter is the best. You know, that's also AKOYE media. But I'm enjoying the ride, man. And like you said, it's nothing personal, just the film. And if the film don't lie, I damn sure ain't. So if the film say it, that's what I'm assuming.
That's what I'm talking about. Fair and balanced, right down the middle. This offseason, I said these are the things that Dak Prescott must improve on. Stepping up through his throws, going through his progression, and then also taking advantages of the open receiver, meaning taking the chances of throwing the ball down the field when there's there. Now, we did see like the first few weeks, what have you, it looked just like, I'm telling you, and we still have our reservation to this game. It looked just like the last part or the latter part of last year, and I'm sitting there saying to myself, come on, Dak, just throw the ball down the field. And, of course, my guy, Voch Lombardi, he kind of reeled me back and said, okay, if players execute, then we will see a better playing style out of Dak Prescott. But then it was a little bit something else. I saw that he regressed on a few plays too. But then, and then also, I saw little sprinkles of hope when he played against the Giants, and when he played against the Detroit Lions, then when he played against this last game against Jacksonville Jaguars. Is this a home game situation, Phil, or this is who Dak Prescott is? Talk to me, fam.
That's the way it's starting to look. Let me move my chair back because I see I'm super close to this camera.
You making love to the camera, fam.
That's what Voch always say. He made me get glasses. So I'm always squinting or I'm always in the camera.
Yeah.
But it's starting to look that way. For me, I only go by what I see. And, you know, as you get more and more film under your belt as the season goes on, that's what we've been seeing consistently is that, you know, stats-wise, it's not much different. Like his stats are averaging around 170, 160 something per game. But the execution and the decision-making at home versus away, it's like away, he's more than happy to dunk, and check down. And when he's home, that 170 yards might come on less completions, but he gets chunk yardage on specific plays. And honestly, my critique of him, if you go back to the very beginning, has always been Dak needs to take some chances. 2016, Dak took chances because he had people who demanded that of him. 2017, Dak, he started off that way. And whether you give him the excuse that it was Zeke, you know, missing 6 games, or you want to say it was the Atlanta game, whatever excuse or whatever reason you really want to pin down as to why he hasn't been the same, he just hasn't been. And that's been for like the last 12, 13 games. Now, I'm happy that he did what he did against the Jags because to me, and maybe KC kind of exposed them a little bit, but to me, Jacksonville's defense was one of the most formidable defenses that I looked at on the schedule. That and the Texans that I looked at on the schedule where I knew we would be tested both up front and definitely on the back end. And the shots that he took against AJ Bouye, I was happy with. I mean, the back shoulder fade, that's something I haven't seen him even attempt to do. So that was to me, That was his best game of the season. And if Dak plays well enough to throw 183 against the Jaguars, that's easily 250, 300 against anyone else. Easily. If he can continue that trend, I don't think he'll stay on the 180, 160 mark. So just get that in mind. Like, keep that in mind. And then on top of that, people think that we as fans and myself, especially the critical ones, don't want to see good football play in the number 4 jersey. That's not the truth. If I get it, I just want good quarterback play.
Right, just want good quarterback play.
It could be Ryan Fitzpatrick. It could be Luke McCown. It could be Dak. I don't care who does it. You can go get Vinny Testaverde for all I care. I don't give a damn. If they can play and they bring it, hey, I'm all happy. So if Dak can consistently play this way, pay the man, do whatever you want with him. You know, regardless of how I felt about him before. Like, I never had a personal issue. I just feel like the film and his play, and you guys know as well, wasn't good for the last some odd games. However,
no doubt. Let me give a quick shout out for those that's in the chat box, man. I always like to give love to the first person that's in the YouTube chat box. Flows Infinite, man, that's a tight code name, boy. I'm trying to keep it PG-13 for myself. The original Wale, I think that's how you say it. Lance Satchel, thank you for tuning in. Third place, you gotta step it up. As far as my Facebook panel, I call it the Facebook Elite Panel, AKOYE.
Yes,
your Facebook is lit too, man. I'm seeing people out there, and as well as your YouTube, so don't forget to give shouts out there. But shout out to Eric K, Carrick Teagle, my brother from another mother over here on the Facebook Elite Panel, Anthony Walden, and who else we got over here? Who else in this thing, man? I really appreciate Scott and Cindy Henson. Thank you. And Dwayne and things over here, man. We live like 95, boy. Jamal Anderson, all y'all, man. Who you got over there on your side, man, as far as the YouTube before we get into these Washington Deadskins?
You know, Chris Rain, I'm going to go off the names that I see repeatedly first.
There you go.
Flames, King Kid, you know, I appreciate you being first up there. Chris Rainer, he's always on there. Jackie, I saw Jacqueline a second ago. Oh no, Janiqua. I'm sorry, Janiqua Russell.
Janiqua, shout out to the Janiquas of the world.
Yeah, she always on showing love, man. Always showing love. It's a bunch of people in here, man. So Vach, I don't know if this the real Vach, because sometimes I got a little fake Vach that be on here.
Man, you got to make the real Vach like a moderator, so you know for sure that's the real deal Holyfield. I got the real Vach on my end. He live like 95. Let me know, Vach, if you want to jump on in, man. You can get on in too.
Exactly. He on here saying what up. Marcus Callaway, you know what I'm saying? But I always appreciate the love. That's the main thing, man. Like I don't have anybody to talk to but myself about football. You guys aren't listening, so I appreciate everybody that tuned in, especially being as though I'm not the type to schedule it where I'm like, you know, I'm going live or I go live.
Right, especially
so I just jump on blind like that, and y'all jump on, man. I appreciate that.
Man, I got the Ray Charles vision. I just be like jumping on in at any given time, be blind like Georgia. But hey, let me know this right here. Did you get a chance to evaluate anybody for the Redskins or the Deadskins, Foreskins, however you want to call them? Did you get a chance to evaluate anybody on that side of the tape?
The defense in particular. Like,
Who you got, man? Who you got on the defense side?
It's the kid from Chicago. Forget his name. I always forget his name. Outside linebacker. McPhee. Pernell McPhee. McPhee is no joke, man. He's no joke. I don't know if he's healthy this week, but McPhee is no joke. Like, as far as run stopping, that's going to be Zeke's biggest obstacle this week. Pernell McPhee has never been a burner. He was like a 4'8", 4'7" guy coming out of the combine, coming out of college. But the way the Bears used him to set the edge and to wreak havoc in the backfield and set things up for the rest of his guys, it seems Washington's doing more of the same. And then you already know they have number 91 who always plays good against us. Kerrigan, I think his name is.
Kerrigan, very quick off that edge there.
Yeah, they're athletic in their linebacker core. So as far as running the ball, and then throwing as well, passing obviously is not our strong suit. So we already know they got Josh Norman back there. He hasn't looked like himself all year, but he's still back there and he's still formidable. But as far as running the ball, I think the Redskins' run defense is real. They are real, and we play right into their hands in regards to our style of play is similar to theyrs. They'd much rather keep a close game, ball control type offense, win it in the end with good efficiency from the quarterback position. And we're similar. So it's going to come down to who doesn't make mistakes, really. Like, we play the same style of football. Hard-nosed front sevens, we both have them. Holes in the back end, we both have them. But our offense plays similar. So I think that it's going to be about who doesn't make mistakes and whose offense is able to extend those drives. Because any defense breaks down, like we did the Jaguars. They were on the field for 38 minutes. Any defense will break down if we can keep them on the field. So
yes, indeed.
keeping that defense on the field so we can break their back is crucial to us winning this game. And if we're able to score early and not turn the ball over, I got us winning. I think we're the better team if all things are even. Meaning, if we're not turning the ball over, we have a better running game. AP ain't AP. He ain't what he used to be. But we have a better running game. We have a better offensive line. And I'd say quarterback play, that I would give them the edge as far as quarterback play, but Alex Smith is not out there alone. And I'm not trying to be smart by saying that. I think that
no, it's good. I love to hear this right here because I love strong opinions. What are your thoughts on I want to hear this especially from you as it relates to Alex Smith. What is his cons and what is his pros? Like, what does he does better than Dak Prescott per se? And what does Dak Prescott does better than Alex Smith? So, yeah, I want to know those things right there. Talk to me.
I think Alex Smith he is a seasoned game manager. So where Dak White might see a throw or might have the proper read, but hesitate on it, Alex Smith makes the plays he needs to make when he needs to make them. So they're similar in a lot of ways. It's just that I think Dak is a lot more willing to take a check down or to run when he sees, a little bit of pressure, rather than making the throws that he needs to make when he needs to make them. He did that against the Jags. He did it against the Lions, but he hasn't been consistent. He doesn't have the same body of work as Alex Smith yet to be able to show that he can do that. So I think Alex Smith is just a seasoned game manager. Do I think Dak's ceiling is higher? Possibly. If he can show that he's willing to make those 65-yard passes and take those shots to open up defenses and use his mind to manipulate defenses to where he wants, where Tony Romo was saying that near the end of his career. He said, near the end of my career, it wasn't about what do I need to do to beat these guys, or what do I need to do to get past them. It's like, we're going to do what we do. And what can you do to stop us? And can you trick me? You can still trick Dak. I don't think you can trick Alex Smith as easy. You have to just beat him. You know what I mean? Dak, you can still trick, or you can get him to doubt himself because he's shown that. Anytime you have a guy who can, when he has his footwork right and his mechanics are okay, he can launch the ball. He showed that on that Tavon Austin play, and he's done that a couple times before where he actually can put the ball out there. And I start to forget that because he does so consistently on film. He's underthrowing because his footwork and his mechanics aren't sound. So I'd say if you wanted to say what can Alex Smith do better, I think Alex Smith has those things already kind of hardwired in. Footwork is where it's at.
No doubt.
He moves around in the pocket better. He can shift and he keeps his eyes downfield better. Dak is better obviously as being a runner. I think he's a little tougher. I think Dak, as far as a complement to our offense, I would say they're similar. But I would say strengths versus weaknesses, that would be it. If Dak gets his footwork down and gets his football IQ up, then, who knows what he can be. And hopefully he does those things. But he has to buy himself enough time this season to be able to do that. And what I mean by that is win enough games so that people like myself and, Jerry and the nation, obviously Jerry said he wasn't going anywhere, but people like myself aren't calling for your head if you're winning. So if he wins enough games to be able to get to another off season of solid work and learning, then of course he's going to progress because experience that's what AKOYE means. It's just accumulation of knowledge over years of experience.
That's a cold name, fam. So with that being said, so Dak Prescott collectively have I guess a higher ceiling than what Alex Smith got right now. We can see that he can learn to go through his progressions a little bit better. I saw last game that he was stepping up through his throws, but now we have to marry that up into this game. See if he can be consistent with that portion, and if he can, then we can smell just a little bit of 2016 flavor coming around. Now, this is the thing. Now, even though I said from I guess from several videos ago that this team collectively is a team of undrafted wide receivers out there, right? Now, I was with the belief all offseason that if you give Dak Prescott to Dez one more year, and a lot of people fail to realize that, I say give him one more year, because if you look back to Tony Romo's seasons with Dez Bryant, it took to that third year to that light to cut on and say, okay, these are what Dez Bryant need to be at with the ball, and this is how I need to throw him the ball per se. And then we saw that third year that everybody was sitting at the edge of the seat and said, hey, this kid can be something special. Although we saw glimpses of it, because he was robbed his first year. Dez Bryant, he got injured. You know, he broke his foot or what have you. His second year, he was still, you remember that rookie year?
Like that first year, his first year, and that's where the sad part was when it came to Dez being judged over the 3 years of work rather than each year individually.
Right.
Because just 2015, obviously, he was hurt. Tony Romo was hurt. He had 4 different quarterbacks. Nobody holds that against anybody in a vacuum when you're looking at it by itself. But when you're judging it, when you keep saying 3 years of declining stats, it becomes an issue. And then if you look at 2016, he made a Pro Bowl not because of his name. He made a Pro Bowl because he only played in 12 games. And in those 12 games, he was top 3 in the league in regards to his output. Like getting 800 yards in 12 games and 9 touchdowns, you know, that's damn good. So he played great in 2016. You know, in 2017, Zeke was gone. Their offense wasn't right, and Dak wasn't right either. So in 2017, everybody, like they said, everybody was down. You don't judge Cole Beasley based off of 2017. You know, I don't think Cole Beasley's a bum. So I agree with you. I think the sad part is that it ended in such a vicious way where now it's like so many things that need to be walked back to be able to even make it a reality for him to play again. And that's both on Dez's side and the Cowboys side. So now I don't see that ever being a reality while the same regime is in place. I think Jerry and Dez can coexist, but I don't think once you start using lines like Garrett's guys and coming at Linehan and so on, I don't think he can ever revisit that. And I do think that part of that, whether it was malicious or not, I think part of it was Dak as well, because if you see someone like you wouldn't have gotten rid of Jason Kelce when Alex Smith was there because that was his blanket. That was his guy.
You about Travis Kelce, right? I don't want to mix the Jason name with it.
Travis.
Yeah, Travis. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know, you wouldn't get rid of Greg Olsen no matter how many times he gets hurt. Him and Cam gonna be a marriage. You know what I mean? You wouldn't get rid of Mike Thomas while he's with Drew Brees. Like, it's not gonna happen because they have their pet cat. And when they got that guy that they like, Keenan Allen with Phillip Rivers, you know, when you have that guy that you like, until you have a solid replacement, you don't usually see people get rid of their quarterback's favorite target. So obviously that was Dak's most consistent target, but I don't think Dez was ever his favorite target. You know, I think part of that was Dak wanting to kind of see a team that he runs, because now there's nobody else to look at. Like Dak runs that offense. There's no voice that can shine him out or cloud him out. So again, not to get into the whole Dez.
Well, it is what it is. We got to use that as a reference, as a talk point to the next topic. But before we go to that next topic, I want to bring up a fact that with Cowboys Nation, I understand that we so greedy in a sense. We so at the edge of winning the next Super Bowl. Always Super Bowl or bust, Super Bowl or bust. I just watched the team last year, Atlanta Falcons, who pretty much, if you look at his stats, you know, Matt Ryan's stats collectively compared to a Dak Prescott, believe it or not, they're not light years apart from each other. And look at the weapons that Matt Ryan had. And then on top of that, Matt Ryan had the ability to been playing in this league for almost 10 years or more. But you don't hear Atlanta Falcon Nation talking about, hey, let's get rid of him because he can't pass the ball to Julio Jones. And I think Julio Jones have yet to even score a touchdown to this day, did he? Did
Oh
Julio
man,
Jones got a
listen,
touchdown?
man, that's another argument.
Yeah.
Let's talk about these receivers, right?
Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about.
I like sometimes I do like just the personal. I'm a person too. I'm not just the analyst.
Right.
Me on a personal level, sometimes I want to, one up the guys who talk all this crazy shit when we were getting rid of Dez. It was like, hey, he a cancer to the locker. I even see people saying it in my chat, like he's a cancer. I'm like, yo, you can't tell me Odell ain't a cancer right now. You can't tell me that AB ain't a cancer right now. They both are cancerous right now. More than cancer.
Well, let me start. Are they young cancers? Are they young tumors? You know what I mean? They are a little younger though.
I mean, AB and Dez the same exact age. They came
For real?
in the league same time.
Damn,
yeah.
I didn't even know that.
They came in the league same time. So
well, I'm gonna hush on that one then.
They both acting crazy. And then on top of that, we talk Julio being #1 in the league or the best in the league. And for me, Dez has been declining for 3 years, bro. And right now he's sitting at home. And today, Julio is still 30 touchdowns behind Dez. Today. He ain't even gaining no ground on that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how you can't catch a dude who's sitting on the couch and who you claim been bumming for all this time. So for me, looking at the way the receivers are playing out this year, both acting as prima donnas like receivers act, it's just disheartening the fact that even when you watch Skip and Shannon, man, you'll hear them say they'll excuse Odell or they'll excuse AB and make excuses for that. But when Dez was on the sideline talking shit, they made it seem like he was a pariah. So I'm like, well, you can't have it both ways, man. You can't. Sammy Watkins is not balling. Landry is not balling.
Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, Allen Robinson is not balling. But all these guys got checks in the offseason that are bigger than Dez's check too. So all our arguments about Dez, like, it do piss me off as a fan that not everybody on the outside, but that we as Cowboys fans roll with that shit. Like that, we still be repeating this bullshit. And it's just, to me, that was the most disheartening part. So that's why when you brought up Julio not having a touchdown this year, it was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
If Dez with Dak, will we be in week 6 with no touchdowns? I doubt it.
Nah. They figured out a way to have him out there. That pass, that last game, that pass that everybody saw that Jalen Ramsey caught the interception on. And trust me, I like Allen Hurns for what he can do as far as the inside. But I said before the start of the season, he's an inside guy, not an outside guy. That's just my thoughts. Although he got the size, he can pass the eyeball test as far as an outside looking like an X receiver because he got the size. And regardless, that exact same play, go back to the 49ers game. Of course, it's a different type of caliber of cornerback. But T. Will, they ran that exact same play. It was an underthrown pass because you want to underthrow it on that particular route. Because all he had to do, if Allen Hurns were to just turn around instead of just shielding the guy,
it would look like a back shoulder fade.
It would have been a back shoulder fade. He'd have caught the ball, and naturally the momentum would have pulled him into the touchdown. And I'm not saying I'm trying to give a pass for my brother from another mother, Dak Prescott. Shout out to Mississippi State. But this is the thing. I'm not giving him a pass, but sometimes I saw Juju Smith-Schuster, however you say this man's name, snatching the ball off their helmet. And I saw also Funches snatching the ball away from the opposition. So sometimes your receivers got to make plays and help your young quarterback out, and that's just bottom line.
The problem with that argument, though, when people do it, the problem that I have with it is not that I don't think that Dak needs weapons. Like, we have top tier weapons. It's the rhetoric. Like, you gotta live to the words that you speak. Like, if I say something, I know it's coming. I know people coming for me if I say something out my mouth. I don't mind that. I gotta stand behind my words.
Yeah.
I mean? So when you say all off season, Dak friendly this, Dak friendly that, we don't need a #1 receiver. And then when the season start, everybody like, well, we need a #1. You see him got help. Like, hey, we was talking this shit, and myself included, we all were talking about how, you can win with a receiver by committee. Now, all of a sudden, it's like, man, people on the Drake song, I'm sick of this shit. Hire some help to get rid of these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Everybody on that type of time right now with it. And I'm like, nah. You can't do that. You can't start talking those conversations, because if you're that you don't need one to galvanize.
Come on, Wi-Fi.
If you're
get
saying
together. Okay, yeah, good.
Get one, man.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
blanking out for a second.
That was me blanking out.
No, it probably be mine or yours, one or another. But you back on it. Back on it now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, you might have one or two guys that you need to bring along, but when there's no rhythm or consistency, I don't like the rotation. Same thing. They rotate our receivers like we rotate our defensive line. I don't like that.
And then they do the same thing with the tight ends too. So the
And
continuity and the
we
poise.
got too much rotation going on. Period. Let Rico play so he only gonna get that AKOYE or experience from playing.
Yeah.
So let him play.
I like that. Yeah.
Even if he bums it up for the beginning of the season, let him play. He got to get his lumps. And the only way he gonna learn is if you got it on tape where like, oh, you see where you did that on this play? Don't do that shit no more. He don't have that because we not sure. It's nothing to. You're not getting the reps.
Let's talk about this though. You was talking about the rotations and the receivers. You did agree with me that you can win without a number one receiver, right? Right. Okay, good. But this is the thing. Will any one of these guys be a solid 2 for a team? Mine is Cole Beasley.
Yeah, I think
Deontay Thompson, he can go to like some obscure team and be their number 2 receiver. Can Allen Hurns? I think Allen Hurns, he was like the 3rd receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars, if I'm correct. Allen Robinson, and then you had this Marquise Lee guy, number 11, who's a big guy.
I would say Hurns he's a tweener number 2. If you
tweener
use
number 2,
and he's like a poor man's Larry Fitzgerald. The problem is he has the same problem people were saying Dez would have if he tried to move to the slot. Beasley is only a slot receiver. He's not an outside guy.
Shout out to Beasley. Go ahead.
Shout out to Beasley, Bengal. You got bars too. I was listening to his rap.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Beasley's a slot guy. So Allen Hurns, he does his damage not from the outside. He does his damage from the slot. So having Beasley out there with him, if you threw Allen Hurns in the slot and put Beasley on the outside in a specific formation, Beasley is canceled out almost, and Allen Hurns is a dead giveaway that is going to him because he's never in the slot. See what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's his problem right now. He needs to go to a team where they don't have a slot guy and he can work like Jarvis Landry. A guy that can just work around in the slot. That's what he's good at. He'll take a hit, and he's good at getting those possession catches across the middle that are tough. So there is value in that.
But to me personally, I looked at the 5 receptions or 5 incomplete passes that were thrown to him last game. It was more so like 70-30. Yeah, he was running like, okay, well, I ain't gonna do him that bad. 80-20. 80-20. He like Dez to me was faster than him. I think he
ain't fast by a long shot.
Yeah, and then he didn't compete for the ball when it was in traffic. So I don't know if he's giving up on himself or if he's just sitting there saying that, hey, I'm running these routes hard for the first 2 or 3 weeks. The ball didn't never come my way. I was open, getting separation. Now I'm gonna throw a little hissy fit, and I'm just not feeling it.
You already know. I did a video on Allen Hurns called "The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly."
Right.
On Allen Hurns when we first got him. Right. And everything I said, people even in those comments argue with me like he's gonna be a replacement for Dez, or I'm like, he's just on tape. He's not that type of player.
Right.
And he's still not. He's not an area guy throwing in his radius and he's gonna get it. No, he would be blanked out a lot with Blake Bortles, and it's not because Blake is just trash. It's because Allen Hurns can be taken away real easily. People sit on him. Corners sit on him all day. And what I mean by sit on him, they'll play off because they know that, if you throw it underneath, he ain't breaking no tackles and going nowhere. So they'll play off of him because he's easy enough to tackle. And when they play off, they could just watch him and the quarterback play through the man and sit on every route because he's not going double move. You get deep. He has done it this year to his credit on film, though.
He did. He done it, yeah.
And he hasn't been doing it. But he did it this year because I guess frustration, bring that out of you because he's gotten open and gotten past that with some double moves. It's just that he hasn't gotten those opportunities because I think Dak even looks at it like, in practice, this dude don't get deep, so he probably not going to get deep. So Dak's not even looking for him, whether it's because of Dak's immaturity or Dak doesn't trust him. He's not looking for him. He's not looking for him. And last week, I think because of all of the media uproar, Dak started to look for him. But those looks to me were like some of Dez's looks near the end. It was like, yeah, you throwing the ball to him. are at him, are in the area. But it's not like the best. It's not like he's like, you know, running great routes and the ball right where it needs to be, and he's just like, you know, out there being an asshole. You know what I mean? Alshon Jeffrey can't run either. Throw the ball to the man in a certain way, he's going to adjust and catch the ball. You know what I mean?
Yes, indeed.
Alshon Jeffrey don't get open. You throw him a back shoulder fade, though, he'll catch it. You throw him low and on the outside, he'll catch it. You throw him a slant route that's on time and not behind, he going to catch that. Throw him a jump ball, he going to catch it. So I feel like the same thing. Like once you trust him and you trust Allen Hurns, then you'll be willing to throw the ball even when he's not open. But right now, Dak doesn't trust himself nor Allen Hurns well enough to do that.
Yeah, it's going to take a little second for that chemistry to build, and I don't think that they got that second. So would you do this, though? Talks of, I don't know if you ever looked at Amari Cooper's tape. I don't know if you looked at a Parker tape. I think he was a second-round draft pick from the Dolphins. He released, I think his name is Devontae Parker. I think that's it.
Oh yeah. Devontae Parker from the Dolphins.
From the Dolphins.
Say leave Parker. Yeah, leave Parker right where he at because he's too injury prone.
Yeah.
Like he's a good talent, and I see why Miami will be willing to shop him because they got so much.
They looking for a third or a fourth. They looking for a third or a fourth pick.
They got talent. They got talent at the receiver position, so I see why they want to shop him. But I think that's a bad move for us because I just don't look at Parker as anything. Like if you're gonna play Parker, you might as well just play Bryce Butler. I think they're comparable, and they're comparable as far as skill set. They fast, long guys. They got okay hands, but Parker, I think, is just too injury prone. Cooper, I also say leave him where he at. Because if you go and bring Cooper in here, I like Mike Gallup just as much as I like Cooper, man. Gallup just doesn't get those same looks and those opportunities. But I like Gallup just as much as I like Amari Cooper. I think if you take Gallup and put him with a quarterback that wants to throw the ball and knows how to, throw you open, like you would think if Gallup was on the Saints right now with Drew Brees tutoring him, you would think he was the best receiver in the league or one of them. I just cursed a lot. My bad.
That Michael Thomas for the very comparable to Gallup in certain sense, but I know now Michael Thomas is sitting on the world now. He's faster, yeah.
Mike Gallup,
but I'm talking about the contested catch up in the air. That Thomas something nice. Yeah. Then he got the last name Thomas. So that brother right there, man.
Gallup can run routes. He can run routes. He got okay hands. I think he made. And that's another thing. Like Dez dropped some balls, but I think this wide receiver core as a whole has dropped a lot of passes, man. So that's a problem. It's still a problem. It's just now they spreading those drops out. But I think if Gallup was developing with Dak from 2016 to now, I think he would be on the same pedigree as an Amari Cooper. So I don't think bringing in Amari Cooper is the answer, because to say that is to say that he's like such a world beater that it doesn't matter. You could just throw the ball in his area, he's going to make you better. And that's not the truth. If that was the case, he wouldn't be having no problems over there with Derek Carr. Derek Carr is a better, purer passer than Dak, and he had trouble with Derek Carr. So he's definitely going to have trouble with Dak.
Yes, indeed. That just goes to show you, man, how much intangibles work, because we can look at Derek Carr and we can say, okay, you have a running back, he has a tight end, he has better receivers out there on the outside, but he just don't have those intangibles. And those are things that we just can't measure. Dak Prescott, I had a person earlier this morning was talking back and forth with me saying that, hey, right now, the Cowboys should have went with a quarterback, or they should have went with Jalen Ramsey and maybe picked up a Ryan Fitzpatrick instead of Dak Prescott in the draft, and this team would have been a whole lot better, etc. And I said, yeah, Fitzpatrick is Fitzpatrick. He's going to turn into the Fitzpatrick of the Fitzpatricks. You see what I'm saying? Right. So Fitzpatrick just don't have those intangibles. He would give you that little flash in the pan. He would show you some things that you'll sit at the edge of your seat and say, man, that guy is remarkable. But he'll turn back into that Fitz nasty whatever he's doing. I don't even know how to call him.
I think Ryan Fitzpatrick he's been a journeyman for the wrong team.
Right.
I think if you put Fitzpatrick on this Cowboys offense,
break it down to me. Then
it would look like a different offense.
Right.
I think it would look like a different offense, and I'm not saying that to discredit Dak. I think Dak and Fitzpatrick play different styles. A quarterback.
He will launch it down the field. He will attempt it.
He's going to take some shots. So plays that you'll never see Dak make are like some of those plays that Fitzpatrick made against Pittsburgh or in the second half, or Dak won't even attempt those types of throws. So that's why I say like this offense would definitely look different because Fitz knows how to get the ball to slow receivers, fast receivers. He knows how to use Deshaun Jackson just as well as he knows how to use Mike Evans and the tight end. He can get the ball to anybody. The problem with Fitzpatrick is, I think that Harvard or Ivy League education gets to him because he overthinks things and overdoes shit sometimes. So I would take him in a heartbeat right now.
Look, this is the thing. This is what I'm thinking right here.
But I would put him behind
Dak Prescott as a backup. That's what I was thinking. The same thing. Like maybe you get somebody like a seasoned veteran that can help Dak Prescott to say, right now they showing you a cover 3 look and they're gonna cheat in. It looks like a cover 1, but it's disguised.
Somebody he don't respect. I don't care what anybody say. That I could tell. You could tell body language. Dak don't respect Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore will be talking to him. Dak will be looking anywhere, everywhere. He drinking his Gatorade and looking around like fuck out of here.
Right.
He don't care what Kellen Moore talking about.
Yeah, so you played football. You played football in middle school or high school?
Yeah, I played all through high school.
Played all through high school. What position you played?
I played linebacker. I played left guard, and I played tackle.
Let's say you played linebacker your junior year, and you beat out the senior guy, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden, the senior guy, he went off to college and he came back and he was supposed to be like the student transition coach out there. And he telling you what to do your senior year, and you sitting here like, bruh, I beat you out in my junior year. So you're not going to take that much weight from him. You might listen to some of the things, but you're not going to listen to all of the things.
Dak needs the same stimulation he's always had when he succeeded, which is when Dak came in Mississippi State, he was a backup that didn't want to lose his spot his first year, and he balled out. Next year, he didn't play half as good. He played like the Dak of 2017 in his final year, which is why he dropped to the 4th round. And if you think I'm lying, go look at his scouting report from NFL.com.
Yeah, I read that several times. Yeah,
and all the things that they're talking about are the things that he struggles with now. But the one consistent thing in both those scenarios is he came in here as a backup. Didn't want to lose his position in 2016. 2017, he had nobody even threatening him for his position. 2018 either. If he has somebody out there where he knows the coach can say, hey, let's see what this other guy can do, because might not bench you permanently, but you're not performing in this game. Let me see what somebody else can do. He don't have that, or he don't have nobody that he respects in training or in practice that says, yo, this is how you throw the ball. I used to see him watch Romo on a rep and then be behind Romo doing the same shit Romo was doing. So you could say Romo was in his ear. For those who say it was Mark Sanchez in his ear, who cares who's in his ear? He had 2 veterans that he could watch. He watched their reps, he mimicked their reps, and he did what they did, and he succeeded because of the pressure of them being behind him and also the experience that they can lend to him during games. I've seen Romo tell them when they're in this look, they're only trying to trick you. You got to come back to it. I've seen him.
Right. I saw that, and then I saw it on All or Nothing too, where he was talking to another quarterback. He said, "Look, the way that Dak Prescott, the way that Tony Romo is able to get the ball out quick, I'm gonna try to get that into my game." And there's something about that. I got a little daughter; she be trying to mimic me, and I was sitting there saying to myself, like, it's something about having that person with experience. It's something about having that person who's been down there before, and that's just the striking thing about this. We don't have nobody on the wide receiver side of the ball that have that strong experience, and we have nobody on the tight end side of the ball that have that strong experience.
The bad thing about Dez and those guys being gone and bringing in veterans that aren't solid, like Hearns is a veteran, but he's not a voice. Hearns can't come in and talk shit to that, But you see what he said in the public is exactly what Dez was saying. But I think we pulled the trigger on guys like Dez due to the fact that we felt, and I think Stephen Jones said this as well, they felt like Witten and Dez were overshadowing Dak's ability to lead. I think that's more so what the reasoning was. And if you have a theory and you don't know for sure, you might think that.
Kind of sort of like a T.O. in the locker room when they was trying to say, okay, we're going to make this Tony Romo's offense. He's going to have to be the voice because people were split. A lot of people believed what T.O. was saying. A lot of people believed what Tony Romo was saying. A lot of people believed what Jason Witten. And they picked the latter. They said, let's just go ahead and go with the younger guys, you know. And they gave T.O. the boot. Basically, that's from what I uncovered, you know. I could be 1,000% wrong.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, T.O. did that to himself, though.
Well,
I think when you put Dez and T.O. and Dez and AB and Dez and Odell, all those guys in the same category, I don't think they're in the same category. Both on field or off field. I think Dez is passionate. And I'm not making excuses for him.
No.
I just have never, other than his locker room outburst, and that was because somebody said something racist. But other than his locker room outburst, nobody can point to a word or a phrase or a time when you were like, look at what Dez is saying, you know, and it's evil or some, even in the All or Nothing, he wasn't saying shit that was malice. When he was talking to his coach, like, listen, he's basically saying, why we kissing these dudes' asses like we don't play football too? You know what I mean? When you talk about them.
Well, he is a little gutter. He's a little gutter with that. So a lot of people be looking like, oh, wow, he just said that.
Why we kissing that? They got to stop. He was saying it like, that's what Romo was saying. Like, they got to stop us. You know what I'm saying? That's how you're supposed to be thinking out there, though. That's how I want my receiver thinking. I don't want my receiver to be a guy that's a pushover. I want him. Michael Irvin used to fight on the field. He will punch you in the mouth.
But I don't think that he was just as boisterous as Dez. I think Michael Michael was like one of those leaders that you just sit back and just listen to him speak. I think Dez, he don't speak as fluent as Michael, you know. But neither here nor there. Let's do a quick shout out, man. You got people on your page, man?
Oh man, shout out to Calvin, man. He just donated to the nation, man. So salute for that. I appreciate it. It's a couple people in here having conversations. My man Harry Salazar always in here holding it down, man. I don't see Antoine Myers on here, but he one of my stables as well. But
he'll watch it on Ricochet.
Yeah, he'll definitely watch it. He'll definitely catch it. But you know, all these guys that are out here, man. Like I said, I always appreciate the support. Brian Nelson, Salam, appreciate you, man. Dollar Ninja, Gene Bryan. These dudes have some hell of a names too.
Ninja
man.
Nuts, Dollar Ninja, Nick Blue. I see Nick Blue over here. Shout out to you and Jackie.
Yeah.
Hey, say hey, Miss Jackie, y'all that's in the chat box.
What up, Miss Jackie?
And number one, Gail Gates, Gate Lime. And let me jump over here to the Facebook panel, man, right quick. While you're looking over those that's on your end. Kerry Teagle, he's still over here, man. Appreciate you. Salute. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the content. Gerald Fair, I like that last name, Fair. Always a lady. Shout out to you. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the content. Appreciate you. I know it's your birthday this week. Always a lady. I love that. You know.
Birthdays,
yes, indeed.
I gotta get my weight up. I don't remember no birthday.
Yes, indeed. What's going on? So who else you got on your end? And of course, Vach Lombardi. Everybody know where the party at, man. Go over there to Vach Lombardi. He breaking down film left and right.
Right. That's exactly right. Vach that boy.
Yes, indeed.
He got more patience than me, though. I can't do the 3-hour breakdowns like bro. I can't do it. I'm like, God damn, it's too long. But even though these breakdowns are long, the ones I do, but they like, you watch a little TV here, you break something down. You watch a little TV there, you break it. When you taping it live, it's different, man. That's something. I got you on that, man.
That's cold-blooded right there, man. Corey B, shout out to you, man. So we talked heavily on the Dallas Cowboys and their strengths and their weaknesses and what Dak Prescott need to do this upcoming game. We talked a little bit on the Washington team about Alex Smith. So who do you got winning the game and why? For the Washington Redskins versus Cowboys.
I got us winning because I think when it comes to forced turnovers, I think we can force turnovers against Washington a little bit better than they can against us. I think Dak has shown, even his interceptions, I think some of those were bad throws, but they still did touch his receiver's hands. So I'm thinking almost all his interceptions were on that level. So Dak's gun shyness, I think in this game, being as though I think it's going to be a low-scoring game anyway, Dak's being gunshot doesn't really hurt us, I don't think, in this game because it plays right into the way we have to play Washington, which is let's score first, play ball control, keep their defense on the field, and not turn the ball over. I think we can do that. So I give us the edge because I really do feel like our defense is younger, we're flying around the ball a lot better, and we're deeper than Washington.
Byron Jones, right?
Yeah, we're deeper. We're deeper.
Yeah.
And if you look at any of their playmakers on defense, we have multiple people that are comparable. If you look at Kerrigan as a pass rusher or you look at him as a linebacker, if you want to look at him as a linebacker, great. We got Jalen for that. You know what I mean? When I say as far as talent-wise. If you want to look at him as a pass rusher, we got how many you want to name. We got pass rushers. So I think our front seven is deeper and better than theirs. So I think imposing our will on both sides of the ball is key, like it is every week. But I think this week in particular, getting a full sample of not only what David Irving can do in the middle, but what Collins is able to do. Now that Collins, people not paying attention at all because they don't know no better. People who talked about Collins don't realize Collins had a similar issue as Dez. When I say that, I mean he had a couple down season last year, should I say, not a couple, due to injury and playing out of position. Collins was playing the one tech all last year because of his size. People look at Collins as a one tech guy.
Man, I thought you were talking about Lyle. You talking about Malik?
No,
okay.
No. I'm talking about Malik.
Oh, okay.
Malik Collins. Malik Collins is one of our best pass rushers on this team. No bullshit. If he's playing three technique. He was playing one tech because David Irving, him and David Irving side by side, David Irving's obviously a better or more suited for the three than the one. But now the way they're rotating them now, the addition of Antoine Woods and the fact that he's balling and Ross allow us to throw guys in there that can play that one tech for us and have Collins be able to do what he does best, which is three tech finesse, man. That spin move was out of this world. The fact that he has so many moves on the inside is something that guards aren't used to seeing. A tackle can deal with a spin move. A tackle can deal with hand fighting because they deal with some of the best pass rushers by default in the league. Guards don't necessarily have to deal with that. They deal with a lot of power.
Right.
Collins got power for you, but Collins got moves on top of moves.
He do.
And so do David Irving. So having both those guys rotating in, both at the three tech position, I think that's going to be a difference maker in this game. I really do. I think our interior defensive line is better than Washington's interior offensive line any day of the week.
Okay. So you won't put that score on the wax too,
I'm saying 2017, 2014, somewhere in there.
27-14. Man, you and I
think we're going.
Me and you close,
20,
man.
I was saying 2013, 20-17, somewhere in there. I think we win by a score, whether that's 3 points or 7 points. I don't think it's going to be much more than that, but I think we win on the road. Dak, and this is a game that if Dak is going to step up and show that he can play on the road, this will be the game because it's a game against the division. It's for the division lead. It's enough pressure already automatically insulated into this game. And then on top of that, it's a team that can be had. We can be. They're not juggernauts. So
right.
If there's any game you're gonna win on the road, this better be one of them.
Better be one of them. I think it may start off slow, and then all of a sudden, I think we're gonna get up 28-13, but it's gonna start off slow. And
who you scared of? Now, who you scared of on Washington?
I'm not gonna say the Bama boys, but I'm looking at Kerrigan, number 91, coming off the right tackle side. Although Dak should be able to see him, when he gets the ball or what have you, because he's coming off that edge. But I've seen Dak Prescott do that rollout play, and Kerrigan be sitting there eating his chips. So I'm like, come on with it.
I'm talking about offensively though.
Offensively, as far as
I'm not scared of Adrian Peterson. I think he stopped the run very well. So I'm not scared of AP. He not the type of guy, he going if it's a close game and he gets his 30 carries, yeah, he might reach close to 100, if it's a close game. But I don't see him being able to blow a game open where it's 3-4 touchdown. Nah, I ain't worried about that. Who can blow the game open for Washington?
Reed, the Reed kid, the tight end. But see, this is the thing. In the last 3 years, we saw this matchup. It always been Byron Jones on Reed, So this year is not. So it's going to be new for me looking out there seeing. I do know that we got LVE, Jalen Smith, and also Sean Lee back into the mix. I don't know whether or not they're going to put the strong side linebacker on the tight end. I don't know what the game plan is going to be.
I don't think we playing much man. And if they do play man, they'll do they've been doing this man zone thing, which I actually like, where if they are trying to take one guy out like they did Odell, they either playing cover 2 or they'll put a man on him. If they feel like Byron can take him alone, they'll put Byron on him alone. If they don't feel like you could take him alone, they've been putting a man, their weaker man coverage guy on him, whether it's AB or Lewis. They'll put that guy on him, and then they'll run him through zone. So it'll be playing cover 3, but there'll be one guy playing man, and that confuses the pre-snap of Alex Smith, because he might put a guy in motion and see that they're moving with him, and then post-snap, he's double teamed everywhere you look. Because in every window that he runs in, he's in somebody else's zone, and he has a man trailing him.
No doubt.
So I like that. I think if there is a weakness against Chris Richard's defense, I think they are weak against the tight end.
Yeah.
Why? Because in the cover 3, those seams and those spaces are where we're vulnerable. But I think the play of LVE, Joe Thomas, Wilson, and Jalen Smith and Sean Lee when he out there, I think as far as coverage, we got the best coverage linebackers in the league right now as a group anyway.
Collectively,
you might have one guy who might be better than some of these guys, but as a group, that's one thing this whole team, this whole linebacker core can do. Because if you watch how we play cover 3 and cover 2, that's different. When you look at your middle linebacker and watch it in the game, you'll see LVE will turn and look back behind him already, and what they're looking for is that deep cross, and that's how Jacksonville kept trying to attack us. You'll see on the touchdown, Anthony Brown turns around. He could have intercepted that ball, but underneath, if you watch who's trailing and playing trail technique and perfect trail technique at that, LVE is right under West.
And Troy, who called that game? Who was it? Tony Romo. Tony Romo said LVE got to get to. If you look at his broadcast, he would say LVE. That's on him. He got to get to that ball. And I was like, nah, Tony. But that's Tony.
He does. He got to make a play on that ball. Because he was close enough. But AB should have intercepted it because he was over the top. But he fell. He slipped. But every other time that they tried that, and they see, so they'll run two deep looks, whether it's sluggos or just fly routes on the outside, right? And then they're running their slot. Instead of running them up the seam, they're running them across, a deep cross. And what our middle linebacker is doing, if my hands look right, or what our middle linebackers are doing, whether it's Jalen or it's LVE, they're turning immediately. They're not even looking at the quarterback in our zone. Most linebackers in zone are backing up, getting in their depth. They don't see what's behind them. They're looking at the quarterback. We play a different scheme. They turn and look for the crossing pattern and then pick them up. So they're playing man. Like our cover 3 scheme is like man. It's just man on who's ever in your zone.
Yes,
see what I'm saying?
And they creep number 38 so far down inside. Yep. I was sitting there like, man, God, it looks like I glanced at it and I said, who's that new linebacker we got? And on the all 22, and I said that's doggone 38. Oh, yeah. That's Jeff Heath.
I like him down there too. Like Jeff Heath down there.
He living it down there. I'm like, wow. And that means Woods playing a good job. Yeah.
Yeah, he was playing some poor angles early in the season, but Woods allows him to play where he needs to be, which is in the box. He a dude that you just let wreak havoc. Don't try to give him, a lot of coverage responsibility. He's not that guy. He a guy that he can run well enough and he can wreak havoc. So allow him to do that by putting him in the box, helping stop the run, forcing some turnovers, getting some sacks. And I think a backup to him would be Kayvon Frazier. So I think having those guys in that rotation is good for us. But I think the way we play coverage as far as linebackers are concerned is a difference maker, and it's not too many teams that play their linebackers in coverage the way we do. If you watch it, like I see on almost every play, in order for our defense to be as good as it is, and in order for it to work, just like it was with the Legion of Boom, those linebackers got to cover. So Bobby Wagner and those guys are covering because as your corners drop on that on that cover 3, your corners in that single high safety, as they drop, you have to pass somebody off to those guys. So if you have a receiver carrying that corner up the field, there's an empty spot underneath them.
There
And
you
if
go.
you don't have your linebackers following that, it's always going to be a blank spot there, and all the quarterback got to do is wait for it.
And
But what
that's
we've
how
been
your
doing,
team. That's how the Texans ate.
yep,
Because the
he bought
Hopkins kid,
time.
he only caught 2 passes on Byron Jones as it
Oh
relates
yeah,
to his side of the field, and
but
everybody was talking about,
in the
hey, he
first
got 8
pass,
up, 8 up. Nah,
no, he didn't.
they
Yeah, he didn't.
drug Hopkins into the Y, they drug him into the
Yep,
Z, and they
yep,
also made him cross field, and those
yep.
passes was
And he
like you said,
pushed
supposed to be
off
a
on
drop
the
off. Yeah.
on the one where Byron falls.
Hmm.
Watch the beginning of the play. They did a quick motion right before the snap.
Right.
Byron comes in to press, but he's already on outside leverage, and immediately Hopkins, D Hop comes in, puts his body into him, and then DeAndre Hopkins. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He pushes off, and then the ball's right there for him. As soon as he pushes off, it's right there. So it's
Hmm.
like, he didn't kill Byron at all.
Didn't
But people
catch
still
not
say that.
one vertical pass on Jones. So
Nope. And
yeah.
that pass interference was Byron Jones' first ever pass interference in his career.
Oh, for
Period.
real, man.
Yeah,
My
that was
God.
the first one he ever had in 4 years. Ever.
Dang, that's
So
good
that's
stuff,
how
man.
well the dude covered, man. So for me, I think our linebackers can bang with handling Reed on the inside because they've been running with wide receivers. So I think they can run with Reed at least long enough to keep Alex Smith from ripping us apart with him.
And the Redskins don't have a DeAndre Hopkins, right? So so with that being said, man, we're finna wrap this thing up, man.
Yes, sir.
Let people know, man, where they can get all this good information as far as film session, film breakdowns, film reviews, man, looking at dissecting plays and things like that. Let everybody know where they can go, fam.
Man, you already know the one and only AKOYE Media. You can go to my YouTube channel. You better off following me on Twitter as well. We're trying to get this Facebook channel up to something reasonable. So all you guys that follow me out on YouTube, make sure you jump out on Facebook and follow AKOYE Media out there as well. Just give me other avenues to be able to relate to you guys and touch you guys. I can't really talk to you guys much on YouTube. I can put out my content, and then it's like, hey, if you say something to me in the comments, I can touch you. But on Facebook, I can interact with you better. And on Twitter, if you won't miss any of my videos if you follow me on Twitter, because all of them are uploaded automatically to Twitter. So as soon as
that's cool.
I drop something, it's right there on Twitter. You can just click on the link and it'll bring you right back to my YouTube channel, and you can watch it straight like that. So if you don't want to miss anything, follow me at AKOYE Media on Twitter, and definitely follow me on like my Facebook page, and you'll see a lot of my stuff jumping up in your queue as well. I try to keep my videos on YouTube as much as possible for right now, but I am building out that Facebook platform. So, and you can also find my man right here, Law Nation, on Facebook as well. And
Right.
we definitely cross post to Facebook. So if you're interested in Law's content, you can find him there as well. We definitely support each other.
Yes, indeed, man. I really appreciate everything, too, that you do for the nation. Guys, exclusive content. Don't forget to hit up AKOYE Media there, too. So what's your Patreon site?
Patreon.com/AKOYE. I won't lie to y'all. Haven't been building as much value to Patreon as late. I need to, but I haven't been, just mainly because I got a newborn at home. I haven't been able to even do as many breakdowns as I like, man. But I'm on it. My schedule is clearing up because baby girl is starting to sleep through the night slowly but surely. I'm not waking up at 12. Man, I'm waking up 12 noon, 1 o'clock sometimes to get my day started. So he's like, hey, I ain't got time to be breaking nothing down unless I'm, hold her one hand, breaking down with the other. So,
right.
Yeah, man.
I know that feeling, man. I just came through those narrow corridors there.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, man. But, man, it's always a pleasure, AKOYE, man. I really thank everybody for tuning in to the nation, especially those who out there who made donations, those who follow the channel. Don't forget, we got a podcast that's LAW Nation. You can jump on that podcast. You can hear me talk about various other topics. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this content, join the notification squad. Even a Woozier, Cheeto, he said he's part of the notification gang. And that's what I'm talking about, guys. So don't forget to help out Mark Holmes, Foots the King, Joe Rod, my guy AKOYE still too, his on this thing too, Vach Lombardi, everybody, man. We gonna get this thing going one way or another. Did I mention Big Game James and DDP, D Dallas Prospect? Every legend was once a prospect. Guys, follow those pages, man. I really appreciate you guys know I love you. Let's get this dub for tomorrow. Shouts out to everybody. 28-13 Cowboys Nation all day, even twice on Sunday. Let's roll, baby, baby. Yeah.
See y'all tomorrow, man.
Yeah, we're going to get this thing going tomorrow, AKOYE. We got to win, man.
I mean,
this dub.
This game will be, it tells us who we are, man. Like, Jaguars game shows who we could be. This game will show who we really are.
Who we are, yeah.
You don't beat the Jags and then let the steam come out yourselves, the next game and lose to the Redskins. I think the Jags are definitely comparable to the Redskins in their defense. To put up 40 against that defense, we should definitely be able to put up some points against